Snipers are one of the most important weapon categories in Fortnite, so today I will be ranking every sniper in Fortnite history on a tier list. We also have the Mandalorian Sniper coming soon, so I thought this would be a good time to rank every sniper. And I just want to clarify really quick, this will not include marksman rifles. I will make a separate video for those in the future. But before I get started, be sure to let me know in the comments some of your favorite snipers in Fortnite history, because this video is just my opinion. If you enjoy my videos, use code TuneSpider in the Fortnite item shop to support me. And now let's get to ranking. Okay, so we're going to take this to the very beginning, and we're going to start with the bolt action sniper that has been here since the OG days of Fortnite. And the bolt action has always felt so great to use. It has a very satisfying shot, a very satisfying sound, and a satisfying noise when you connect a headshot. There's been so many amazing clips with this sniper throughout its history, especially when you think of like ninjas, for example, where you headshot snipe like 5 people in a row. The bolt action has always done good body damage. A rare, for example, was 105 back in the day. I still love using this sniper to this day whenever I play the OG mode. I still think it's very satisfying, so I'm going to be putting the bolt action in the A tier. Next, we're moving on to the semi sniper, another OG sniper, and this was kind of dangerous back in the day because all of us were pretty bad at building, and it's a little dangerous in zero build if you're not that great at moving around. But the thing with the semi sniper is it doesn't do a ton of damage. It does have a good fire rate, and it does have 10 shots before you have to reload, but an epic semi sniper does about 63 damage to the body. So because its damage isn't amazing, I don't feel like I can put it in S or A, so I'm going to put it in the B tier. It's still a solid OG sniper. Moving on to the hunting rifle, and this is a lot of people's favorite sniper of all time. It's a unique sniper without a scope. It has a very satisfying headshot sound. It's fun to use. It's versatile. You can use it up close if needed. The damage for it though isn't terrible, but it isn't amazing. About a 90 body shot damage for a rare hunting rifle. I will say though, it does have a faster reload time compared to most snipers, and as much as I love this hunting rifle because it is such a fun weapon to use and it's so satisfying, I think it'll go in the A tier. Alright, so next up is the heavy sniper, and this might be the most satisfying weapon to use in all of Fortnite. I mean, at minimum, the noise when you use it, or when you shoot, or when you get a headshot is definitely one of the most satisfying noises in all of Fortnite. There's just something about this heavy sniper. When I'm holding it and when I'm shooting it, it makes me feel like I'm the toughest guy in the world. And I can assure you I'm not, but I feel like I could take on The Rock in WWE, or maybe I could take on prime Mike Tyson, or I could at least beat up the entire group of Teletubbies. But anyways, it does insane headshot damage. Back in the OG days, it actually did 150 body shot damage, and it's an instant elimination when you get a headshot. The reload for it does suck, I will admit that, but it just does such great damage. It's so nice to shoot that this easily belongs in S tier in my opinion. Moving on to the suppressed sniper, this is what I like to call silent but deadly, kind of like, you know what, I'm not going to finish that sentence, but basically this is just the bolt action with the silencer on it. Has basically the same stats as the bolt, but I never enjoyed using it as much, and I think that is because of the silencer. It just doesn't feel as impactful, or doesn't feel as satisfying to use compared to like the bolt action and some of these other snipers, so I will put it in the A tier behind the bolt action. Moving on to the Storm Scout, this is a very creative sniper since the scope would allow you to see the next circle. It basically worked like the forecast towers, but back in the OG days, when you held down the sniper, it would show you future circles. So this was extremely cool to have back in OG Fortnite, and definitely gave a little bit of a competitive advantage. But as far as the stats for it, it didn't do the most body damage, especially at an epic rarity, but it did have 6 shots before having to reload, and its fire rate was slower than the semi sniper but faster than the bolt. But because it doesn't have an insane damage, I don't feel like I can put it in A or S, even if it does have this unique feature, so I'm going to be putting it into the B tier. Next up is the auto sniper, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I like what they were trying to do with it. It just didn't do enough damage. It did have a pretty fast fire rate, but at that point you might as well carry around an AR. It did have a magazine size of 16, but the rare only did a body damage of 40, so you'd have to get quite a few shots off to be able to knock somebody or get an elimination. But back when the auto sniper was released in Season X, there was no zero build, it was only build mode, so this weapon really wasn't that useful in my opinion, so I'm going to be putting it in the D tier. Moving on to the sniper that will actually be coming in the next update, and that's the Mandalorian Sniper. I do like this one. It is a mythic weapon, so I feel like it's kind of a letdown for a mythic in regards to the damage. It does 110 body shot damage, which is about the same as a rare or epic bolt action sniper. It does have a satisfying shot to it. I like the thermal scope. I don't love it, but something that was unique about it is you could lunge and do melee damage with this weapon. I also thought the noise to it was pretty satisfying when shooting it, so I'm going to be putting the Mandalorian Sniper in the B tier. tier. Moving on to the boom sniper, so now we're getting into an exotic sniper. This was one of the first exotics in the game. It was very fun to use and definitely a unique sniper, of course, but it didn't do a lot of impact damage. It only did about 10 damage when you hit somebody, but the explosion damage did do 75. It looked and shot like the heavy sniper, except for the fact that the magazine size was 5 rather than 1, so you were able to shoot multiple times in a row before having to reload. But in my opinion, this is kind of a letdown for an exotic. I feel like it came up short, especially when it came to the damage, so I'm going to be putting it in the C tier. Next up is another exotic. This one's the Dragon's Breath Sniper. So this is basically the epic and legendary bolt action sniper. Did essentially the same damage, it just had a unique exotic feature, which was catching builds on fire, catching people on fire, which I think is pretty cool. Definitely unique. It added extra damage to whether it was builds or a person, but you could set your own builds on fire or catch yourself on fire, so that could be frustrating if you for some reason move to the left really quick after you edited a window and accidentally hit your own builds. That's just an example, by the way, but because it's so similar to the bolt and it does have a little extra flair to it, I am going to be putting it in the A tier next to the bolt action sniper. And then this third exotic is the Storm Scout Sniper, but essentially it is no different than the Storm Scout we got in chapter 1. They count on being able to see future circles as the exotic feature to it. There was nothing different, so I'm going to be putting it in the B tier as well. Next we have the lever action sniper, and this one had 9 shots. It had a fast fire rate. It was kind of similar to like the hunting rifle, except you got 9 shots with it. It did pretty low damage for a sniper, and it wasn't super accurate. It was kind of fun to use, but I just don't think it was that great of a sniper, so I'm going to be putting it in the C tier. Then moving on to the railgun. This probably is the most unique sniper of all time, and I really love this one. It is so much fun to use. You don't have to worry about bullet drop or anything with it. It's completely hit scan. The charge up for it is fun, and especially if you're using it in duos or trios and you're in build mode, timing right where one of you destroys the wall and then the next person hits the person camping in the builds. The railgun led to so much fun gameplay, and it does really good damage, so I'm going to be putting this one in the S tier. It's joining the heavy sniper. Next up is the Hunter Bolt Action. So this is a little similar to the bolt action, except it had 3 shots in the magazine size, did a tiny bit less damage when it came to the body damage, but it was a satisfying sniper to use. I believe this was like one of the only new snipers that we got in chapter 3. I like the headshot noise it made, so I'm going to be putting this one in the A tier. Next up is the repeater rifle, and this one can be so frustrating in zero build. I don't think it's as annoying in build mode compared to zero build. It doesn't do crazy impact damage, but there is that explosive effect after, plus it has a fast fire rate. There's 5 shots before you have to reload, and then it was pretty fun when it came into the game during wilds, using 2 of them at a time, kind of like a double pump. So part of me wanted to put this sniper in S, but because it's not as impactful in builds compared to zero build, I'm going to be putting it in A. Next up is the Reaper Sniper, and I don't know if we'll ever get a better sniper than this one, especially when you can mod it and pick your own scope and put a drum mag on it and any other attachments that you would like for the sniper. It was bullet drop just like every other weapon. It was very satisfying to use. This one is easily going in S tier, and it's going at the top of S. I think it's the best sniper we've ever had. Moving on to the heavy impact sniper. So this one was very similar to the heavy sniper. This came into the game during the wrecked season. I wish it came into the game sooner during that season because it could knock back cars, which was something that was unique about it. It did pretty high damage similar to a heavy sniper. It shot similar. It had a different sound effect to it, and it took a while to reload just like the heavy sniper. So I'm going to be putting this one in A. I don't think it's as good as the heavy sniper, but I think it's almost right there. Moving on to the Falcon Eye in chapter 6. It is similar to the Hunter Bolt Action, but where it comes up short is the damage. It just doesn't do enough damage. Even if you get a headshot with most of the rarities, you're not going to be eliminating the person. I do think it's a satisfying sniper to use, but I wasn't itching to pick it up whenever I saw it, so I'm going to be putting it in the B tier. Moving on to the exotic heavy impact sniper from chapter 6 season 2. I really like the sniper. You get the heavy impact sniping ability, but you also got an ability to scan the area. I also really just love the design of all the exotics from the Lawless season. I thought they looked really cool. It was fun having exotics back in the game again. I thought this one was useful. I'm going to be putting it in the A tier. Moving on to the exotic stink rifle. So it's exactly how it sounds. On impact, it releases like a stink grenade pretty much. So not only could you have impact damage, but you could also cause stink damage after. It felt like they tweaked the hunting rifle though. Like it felt like it shot different compared to the OG one. It just felt a little off, so I'm going to be putting it in the B tier. And then the last exotic sniper of chapter 6 season 2 was the exotic Falcon, and it pretty much shot identical to the Falcon Eye sniper, which wasn't bad. It's a solid sniper in my opinion. And when you marked someone, it would mark them and also do a little bit of extra damage to someone that got marked, but I don't think it did enough to put it above the B tier, so I'm going to be putting it next to the regular Falcon Eye in B. But there you have it. That is my ranking for all of the snipers we've had in Fortnite. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. If you'd like to join my Discord server, that link is going to be in the description. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.